Everybody, and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac, and we are back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 38. And at the end of last episode, we were working on breeding some bees. And since the end of the last episode, I have done far too much bee breeding. You can see over here that we're doing quite well. These flowers do spawn just as part of breeding bees. As soon as you start putting apiaries down and breeding bees together in them, you're going to get flowers spawning around them. And that's just kind of something that's built into forestry. So since last episode, what I've done is I've moved the world over onto a private server. So now what I can do is I can throw down this chunk loader, which we have here. And for those who don't know, the chunk loader is fairly easy to make. It's just an ender pearl, an enchantment table, and some gold ingots. And basically, what this does is when I log off the server, as long as the server is still running, basically everything will keep going. And the reason I did this is because these apiaries take forever to finish a cycle. If we look in here, they take far too long to actually get anything done. We're not quite there yet with the bees. We don't have the Imperial or the Industrious, although we are close. We do have a Noble, a Majestic, and an Unweary, so we are pretty close. Unfortunately, the Noble and Majestic, they're both drones, so we can't breed them together to get an Imperial, so there is still a bit of work to do. I'm still going to do more work off camera, so today we're not going to be focusing on bees. Instead, we're going to jump back to power, because my gosh, we do not have anywhere near enough power at all. So, a few episodes back, if you remember, we set up the reactor dynamos over here, as well as the innovation dynamos over here, and we set these up to receive redstone, and basically, we ran out of redstone. So I came on, before I moved the world over to a server, I kind of just went AFK over here and just left the thing running for ages. But I came back and we had run out of redstone. The whole thing was just out and it was not good. Our power system was like shot. For some reason, this stopped working over here. I actually had to go into the nether. And actually, I'll show you this. We have replaced so much of the lava in the nether with stone. Because I left the server running for so long, it's been like 3 days now, guys, since the end of last episode that the server has just been running constantly, non-stop. And therefore, we kind of used a heck of a lot of lava. And I had to actually move the pump over to here. And again, it's used even more because this was like a day ago. We have just consumed so much flipping lava, it's unreal. And because of this, we've produced a lot of power. And our quarry has been running for such a long time that we're now actually back up to a decent amount of redstone. We now have, I think, like 3,000 redstone, something ridiculous like that. Let me go take a quick look here. We have a ton of redstone. It's kind of insane. Redstone, yeah, just shy of 3,000. If we type in iron, we've got 5,500 iron. And if we were to go do a quick check in the overworld here, in the age 10 here, our Mistcraft age, you will see that this thing has been running for such a long time. We have 60, oh my god, we have 84 diamonds. 84 diamonds! That is how long this thing has been running for. My gosh, it has been a long time. Okay, and we still don't have the bees that we need. It is ridiculous. So I'm going to throw these, the diamonds in here, and we're going to come back to bees probably next episode, maybe the episode after if I still haven't quite got everything we need. But for today, what we're going to do is we're going to work on our power situation, because as of right now, this big reactor is not good enough to power the mass fabricator we have down here on its own, alongside the recycler, of course. Because these are all off now, we're producing like 700 less RF per tick. And also, these guys over here, and if we don't get stuck on an anvil, these guys over here are not producing enough to keep the quarry running at max speed, which means if we go over to our B area, because the B terminal over here gets power from the Tesseract, which is also giving power to the quarry, because the quarry's not getting enough power, this thing is always dead. That's not good. We need some power. So today we are going to pull out the big guns. We are going to build the next tier of big reactors. We are going to build a big reactor turbine. Now, this thing is fairly hard to make and maintain, but it produces a ton of power. And the first thing we need to do is get ourselves a ton of steel. Unfortunately, steel's really hard to get in this mod pack, but between this episode and last, because we've had the server running, basically I put a bunch of iron in here and put some charcoal in this hopper, which would automatically feed it into the bottom slot here, and we now have a ton of steel. And basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to start by making a steam boiler from Railcraft, because usually the way that you power a turbine from big reactors is you go ahead and you take your normal big reactor, and instead of having it produce power, you change it to have it produce steam. Now, I didn't really want to do that. I want to keep getting the 1,500 redstone flux per tick from this big reactor, as well as extra power from my turbine. So what we're going to do is we're going to produce a steam boiler from Railcraft that's going to produce steam from the charcoal that we're getting from our tree farm and some water that we can get from an unlimited water source. And then we're going to send that steam into our big turbine and hopefully just get an absolute buttload of power. So in order to make this, we need a boiler, like so, and this guy is fairly easy to make. We're going to need, you can see here, it's a multi-block. You can make it 1 by 1 by 1, 2 by 2 by 2, 2 by 3 by 2, 3 by 2 by 3, 3 by 3 by 3, or 3 by 4 by 3. We're going to make a 3 by 3 by 3. As you can see there, it says it produces 20 millibuckets of steam per tick, which I think is per block, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we're going to make the 3 by 3 by 3, which should, in theory, I think, possibly, maybe, produce 540 millibuckets of steam per tick. If that's right, that should be more than enough to keep our big reactor turbine going. So, to make this guy over here, we need 2 of these steel plates. These are made in the rolling machine, just like the iron plates. So, I think the rolling machine's over here. I keep moving things around. Yeah, here it is. If we do something like this, this is not hooked up to power. Let's move this guy. I'm actually going to go ahead and stick it back down over here so it just gets all the power that it needs. Boom. How much Yellorium do we have now? 1,300. Nice. Okay, so let's take out the cyanide. Let's throw that in there. That should be back up to full power. You should have juice. You do. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and almost 4. And that should go ahead and make us quite a few of these steel plates, although it is going to take quite a while to complete all of them that we need, because we need quite a lot. I think we need like 220 of those steel plates, so yeah. That's quite a bit. Now, the next thing we're going to need, because this is a multi-block, it's made up of 3 by 3 of these blocks here, the high-pressure tank boilers. You can also use low pressure as well. I'm just going with high pressure. But we also need these guys here, either a solid fuel boiler firebox or a liquid fueled boiler firebox. Depending on which fuel you want to burn, we're going to use charcoal, so we're going to go with a solid fueled boiler firebox. Quite a long name there, but this thing is made using fire chargers, a furnace, and a bunch of bricks. I don't think we have any bricks. No, we don't. I don't think we have any clay either. Oh, we do have clay. Okay, cool. Let's take you. Let's get you smelted up in the alloy furnace. Like so. That shouldn't be too bad. Although I do think we need quite a few more, because we need 9 of these. This is basically going to form a 3 by 3 by 1 underneath the 3 by 3 that is the Railcraft boiler tanks. You'll see what I mean a little bit later on in the episode once we have all of the stuff. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this thing cook up. If that's not enough, which I don't think it will be in terms of bricks, I'll go get some more clay. I'm also going to go ahead and make 9 of these fire chargers real quick. 1, 2, 3. I thought they didn't make in sets of 1, but they don't. They make in sets of 3. I don't actually think I've ever made fire chargers before. And then we'll go ahead and make 9 of these. And I'm going to go away, guys. I'm going to get all the more clay. I'm going to make all the stuff we need for the fireboxes. And I'm going to wait for these things to finish. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a little while later, we have all of the bricks that we need. And as it turns out, I actually massively miscalculated the amount of steel plates we were going to need for 27 of these high-pressure boiler tanks. And in fact, we can now make 64 of them if we so wish. We don't need anywhere near that many. So I'm going to go ahead and take 27 for now. And then we're also going to go ahead and grab those fire chargers we made, stick those there, grab all the furnaces that we made and stick those there, and we should get ourselves some solid fueled boiler fireboxes. There we go. And now we need to set this up somewhere. So I'm thinking that we're going to have the turbine downstairs. Now, I actually could do with a quick calculation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... 15. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is, I'm thinking this room is even. I think it's 15 by 15. I think I'm going to make, for now, 1 turbine that's going to be 5 by 5 and then 10 deep. So it's going to be built into the floor. So it's going to be 5 by 5 by 10. And if that's going to be the case, then if we want, we could put like 3 more of them around the room later on to adjust to our power needs. If that's going to be the case, I think we should go ahead and build the boiler here into the wall. So what we'll do is we'll kind of just dig out here a little bit. And hopefully we don't run into any problems going this way. I don't think we would. And of course we need 3 by 3. We need a 3 by 3 space for the boiler blocks, and then we need a 3 by 3 by 1 space for the bottom firebox there. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, it should make sense in like 3 seconds when I go ahead and put all these down. Let's quickly get rid of all of you. There we go. And then we just need to put these 9 down at the bottom, like so. And then we need to put these at the top. And you'll see, right now they're not forming into any multi-blocks, but as soon as we put all these together, boom, it formed into a nice little multi-block, and we now have a high-pressure steam boiler. See that steam boiler? Now, what we have to do here is a bit wacky, to say the least. The first thing we're going to do is get ourselves a unlimited water source. I'm going to use that, the accuracy accumulator to do this. There are like a multitude of ways we could do it, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm actually going to take this one from back here that we're not really using all that often right now, so I'm going to take you. Do we have any buckets? I think we do. Good stuff. Let's take you and you, and then we'll just take you and you and you. Thank you very much. And then we'll take these downstairs. I'll probably put another one over there between episodes so that all that other stuff up there keeps running. But for now, let's throw the accuracy accumulator down right there. Water either side of it. I think this should produce enough water to keep it going. We're going to put you there, and that should start to fill this up with water. It is. Nice. And this is where the tricky part comes in, because the steam boiler doesn't actually produce any steam at all until it reaches max temperature. Now, I believe the only things we can put in here are charcoal and coal coke, much like the other thing. The coal coke oven that we have over here. Actually, I did make some coal coke. Yeah, I remembered. I put some coal coke in there. And basically what we're going to do is I'll put that in a second. But we have to wait for this thing to get to full temperature. Now, I am recording this video like a lot earlier in the day than I normally would, because, get this, to reach maximum temperature, this steam boiler requires a constant stream of charcoal for 5 hours. 5 real-life hours. So, if I put this charcoal in here, you'll see it instantly starts to burn through it. And during this phase, whilst it's heating up, it burns through, I believe, about 2 charcoal a second, which is far too much charcoal. But after that, it uses about, I think, like 4 times less. It uses like 1 charcoal every 2 seconds or something like that. But until it gets to its max temperature, which I think is around 500 degrees, it's not going to produce any steam. And once it gets to its max temperature, we have to continually feed it fuel in order for it to stay at its max temperature. Now, coal coke does work a bit better. If we were to throw that in, it should last a lot longer in the steam boiler. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of a ton of coal coke. So, what we're going to have to do is kind of hook up our... thankfully we do have a lot of charcoal in our barrel up here. I did add some more diamonds to this guy, so he is up and running again, doing his thing. Thankfully, we do have a ton of charcoal in here, which is nice. And I think what we're going to have to do is set up a little interface that allows us to access all of that charcoal. So, what I'm thinking here is, do we have an storage bus? We do not. We do have one over by the bees, which I'm going to use for now because this thing's not even working. So for now, I'm just going to take this. Thank you. And what we're going to do is I'm going to make a second barrel, and we're going to put it right like there to intercept all the charcoal coming down. So do we have a spare barrel lying around? We do not. Let's go ahead and grab a barrel. Here we go. Grab a barrel. I'm guessing we'd have a chest. We don't. Take you, throw that back in, and we should... There we go. Be good to go. Let's take this guy. I'm going to throw him for now right about... I think just here on the top here should be fine. We're going to throw that there. After we get rid of this cover. Going to throw that there, like that. That should start to fill up with stuff if we right-click this with a wrench. There we go. That should start to fill up with charcoal. Any second now. Any second now. Am I doing that right? I missed something there? That should... It's searching for inventories and somehow not finding that barrel that's ready and waiting to accept the charcoal. That's going... We don't need this one anymore. That's going over to the mining machine from BiblioCraft 2 that we haven't used in like 40 episodes now. That one shouldn't be getting any charcoal. There we go. Okay. It's getting charcoal now. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to dig around back here until we find an ME cable. And we're going to hook this up as a storage bus like this, which means our AE system should be able to access everything that is within that barrel. So, ME cable. We have 3 there. 5 here and 1 on us, so we have 9. That should be enough, and I'm hoping we have enough channels around here as well to get this going. Let's see, where would be the best place to pull from here? For now, I'm going to do something really ugly and do this. In the future, I will go ahead and make this look less ugly. I promise. Come on, get out of here. There we go. And then let's just do... Come on, let me Let me out of here. There we go. Let's throw you down like that and like that. And that should almost hook up. There we go. Now that should turn blue. That should turn blue. There we go. Whew, okay. And now we should be able to access all of that charcoal. We can access 154, which is exactly the amount that's in here. This should constantly fill up with more and more charcoal as it receives it from the barrel upstairs. You can see it just got some more there. And then basically what we're going to do from here is we're going to have this wire that is here run across the room. And then we're going to stick an export bus onto the steam boiler to output all of our charcoal to make sure that it stays full of as much charcoal as is possible. Now, we actually don't need this export bus anymore, this one over here. Thinking about it, we should probably have built the steam boiler over on this side to save on making an absolute butt ton of cable here, but that should be fine. Do we have any nether quartz? We do. If we take that along with some charged Certus quartz, which we don't really have, and some redstone, we can go ahead and make ourselves a couple more of the glass fiber cable here. If you can get it into the pond, that is. There we go. Thank you. This should be able to get us a few ME glass fiber cable. Not a ton, granted. Not a ton at all, but 8, which probably isn't enough. Let's see here. We need to come kind of along. And again, I'll probably build this into the wall at some point. But for now, we're going to do that. And we do need more cables. So I'm going to go ahead and charge up some more Certus quartz, guys. And I'll be back in a second. And once we got some more ME cable, we should be able to do this now. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. This is no way to get 20 blocks. This should be fine. You can go there. We're going to go ahead and grab this guy real quick. Thank you. And now, hopefully, this works. I have no idea if this does work. I haven't tested this. But I'm hoping that we can just sign up for import like that. And I do want that to be charcoal. And hopefully that should start to fill up. Preferably with charcoal. Now, that hasn't ticked together yet. And I think that's actually because I removed a cable. Yes, I did. I removed that cable to stop it dispensing redstone. We're missing... We haven't got any in here. As soon as that turns blue, which it should do. There we go. This should start to fill up with charcoal. Maybe? Maybe? Oh, no, wait. It might have to go into the bottom slot here where the... Yeah, that makes more sense. It probably has to go where the fuel goes, I would assume. So, there. And then, let's try that again. Charcoal. We'll do cable, cable, cable. And then when it turns blue, we should... Come on now, turn blue. There we go. Filling up. I saw one go in there. I saw another one go in there. Another one. It seems to be putting them in, which is good. It's not particularly fast about it. Now, we could put some speed modules in here if we so wanted to. Do we have any speed modules lying around? I don't think that we do. No, we don't. Which is a bit of a pain. But it seems to be keeping up with it quite nicely. It seems to be keeping enough charcoal in there to keep this thing going. So, basically, what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to go away for 5 hours. And we'll come back in 5 hours once this thing has reached maximum temperature and is ready to start producing some steam. Let's do a quick check over here. Is this doing good? It is. That's doing fine. I will check up on this every now and again to see if it's got enough charcoal. Because if it does run out of charcoal, I think the temperature will drop and we'd have to wait even longer, which is really not something I want to do. This is doing a fantastic job of keeping the thing there full of charcoal. I'm hoping that the approximate 3,000 charcoal that we had in our barrel up here is going to be more than enough to keep the thing going until it reaches its maximum temperature. If it's not, hopefully we get enough from the tree farm over here. I'm really just hoping that will be enough. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and throw a little bit of coal into the coal cook oven thing and just have that as a little bit of a backup. But for now, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to wait 5 hours and I'll be back for you guys, I guess, in a second. Okay, so we're back, and 5 hours have passed since when I recorded the first section of this video and now, and in that time, I've learned a couple of things. So, I didn't really get to check up on the world all too often, and when I came back after the 5 hours, the tree farm had backed up, because this guy over here, the sapling barrel, was full of saplings, basically. So, when we checked inside the cargo manager, it was just backed up full of stuff, which basically means that most of the charcoal, we ran out of charcoal really quick, and we didn't get any more being fed to the boiler downstairs, so things stopped working. Now, the first thing I'm going to do now that we're back is go ahead and make sure that doesn't happen again, and we're going to do that by A, upgrading the Jabba barrel that's holding the saplings, and B, we're going to add a new upgrade that we haven't added before that means that any excess saplings that go into that barrel after it's full get automatically just deleted from the world so that we never have a backup like that again. So, the first thing we're going to do is make ourselves a structural upgrade Mark II so that we can put some more slots in. And the next thing we're going to do is make ourselves this guy over here, the Void upgrade. As you can see, if we hover over it again, deletes excess added items into the barrel once it's full. This thing is fairly easy to make, especially in late game like we are. We can go ahead and just go this, and boom. Nice. All right, let's take that. And we should be able to just simply do something like this. Right-click. Wow. Wow. Okay, well... I put that on the wrong one. That's fine. These things are super easy to make. We'll go ahead and try that again. Thank you. This time we'll try putting it on the one for saplings. I wouldn't mind. We put it on like the worst one as well. That's the one that we're never going to use. We'll put it on there. Shift right click, and then again, just shift right click. And now any excess that goes into here, I did put some back into the AE system. So if I was to grab a few of these saplings and try and put them all in here, how many do we have? 120. We don't quite have enough to fill that up. But as soon as it passes 128 stacks, it will now go ahead and just delete all of those saplings. So we should constantly have a nice stream of charcoal coming until we fill up on apples, which hopefully won't be anytime in the near future. Now, the good side is, or the bright side, I guess, is that I was completely wrong about the requirements for this steam boiler. If we were to have a look right now, you can see A, we have steam, B, we have steam, C, we have some temperature. So you can see now it's using the charcoal a little slower than it was before. It's still quite fast, though, and it will get slower the hotter it goes. But you can see we have 864,000 millibuckets of steam in here right now, which is pretty awesome. We have a hole in the floor for where our turbine's going to go. And basically, once it passes 100 degrees, it will start to generate steam. It will generate more steam per tick the higher the temperature it is. I think I was reading a wiki for an older version of Railcraft where the steam boiler had to be at max temperature before it would start producing steam. However, that is not the case now, and you don't have to wait anywhere near that long to start getting some steam. But I am going to continue to leave this running between now and next episode. Hopefully, by then, it will have got to max temperature. We'll be producing the maximum amount of steam that it can produce. I'm also going to go ahead and make quite a few other things in kind of bulk between now and next episode, because we are going to need a ton of certain items between now and next episode. One of those items, if we were to go ahead and have a look at big reactors, we are going to make a turbine, and you'll guess over here, if you look through big reactors, that we would need some of the turbine parts, like the turbine power pod and the turbine housing, and most of these, actually I think pretty much all of them, require some of this stuff, either cyanide, which we have, or plutonium. Now, plutonium, if you have a look here, I actually don't think it tells you the recipe. We've got smelting, redstone furnace, induction smelter, alloy smelter. Cyanide reprocessor is the way that we make this. So the cyanide reprocessor is fairly easy to make. I think. He says he hasn't checked the recipe since, like, 1.6. Let's see. Did I spell cyanide wrong? No, I didn't. It's just there. I couldn't see it. Fairly easy to make. Just some big reactor stuff with a fuel rod in the middle and 2 pistons either side. Pistons, at this stage of the game, are fairly easy to make. There we go. Boom, boom, and done. And basically, the cyanide that we get out of the big reactor, we have quite a bit of it, because if we go ahead and have a look, this thing outputs cyanide after it takes in yellorium. It's kind of a byproduct. Basically, all we have to do is stick this down near something that needs power and also near something that has water. Now, we have water over here, so I'm kind of tempted to put it down over there, but I'm also thinking that there's no power over here, so that could be a bit of an issue. That does fill it up with water? Oh, we need to make the back here an input, which is blue. Okay, this is kind of like the thermal expansion thing, apart from the fact that it doesn't really tell you what you're doing. A bit odd, but that's fine. We'll stick that in there, and we do need to get it some juice. So for that, I'll just turn the quarry off for a little while and move this guy. If we turn off the bottom like that, that should start to fill up with power. Once that's filled up, I'll move it. I will probably actually go ahead and put the Aqueous accumulator back down in here, and then we'll go ahead and just kind of stick it down somewhere over here and power it up using some rednet energy cables. But for now, guys, I'm going to end the episode there. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like. Next episode, we'll come back. We'll set ourselves up with this big turbine, and we'll be making a ton of power, an absolute ton, and we'll also have something to do with all this steam that we're producing. But again, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.